All right, let's get started with our practice today. Welcome to Hendricks How-Tos and welcome Hendricks Community. I am Coach Kristin. I'm a clinical nutritionist and a certified big leap coach. Today, I wanted to explore integrity, and specifically in the context of love with a spine. So being so close to, as we record this, the holiday season, we might find that our integrity might be being tested or pushed to its limits a little bit. So using love with a spine as a practice, I find can really bring us back home to ourselves when we need it the most. This is a form of loving that is deeply rooted in authenticity and honesty and confidence in one's own being. Love like this isn't about pleasing others at the expense of yourself or tiptoeing around your own truth to keep the peace. It's about standing tall, really embodying and standing tall in your wholeness and what's real for you, while also holding care and openness for the other person or even the group. I'll practice this whether it's facing an individual or coming into a group setting. What I love most about this is that it includes a physical space of integrity, meaning the spine. We can embody the spine, we can feel it and locate it physically. The spine is the structure that roots us. It roots us and grounds us downward, but it also simultaneously lengthens us upward, giving us that posture of integrity, sort of a grounding and an upward flow. And for me, when I sense my spine, it's a grounding, a lifting, and a dropping back. Shoulders are dropping, standing tall, standing confident in my integrity, rooted in myself. And what I love about this practice as well is that space, the spine in this context also represents inner strength, your willingness to stand up for your values and your boundaries and what you hold to be true for you, even when it might be a bit uncomfortable or we risk disappointing others in some way. So to love with a spine means expressing what's alive in you, asking for what you want, saying no when something doesn't feel right to you, and of course, saying yes when something does feel right. And just like the physical spine, it's a flexible strength. It's a flexible strength. It's not rigid and hard. It allows us to kind of flow and be in a space with others and honoring and including ourselves and them. So there's this flexibility to it. Pairs well with loop of awareness, seeing them back to yourself, embodying love with a spine. And of course, works well with fear melters. For me, this is a practice I've been working on a lot lately, and I'm just loving sensing the feeling of embodying my spine and embodying love. So I thought we'd do a little practice of that today. So essentially a little bit of first aid for when integrity feels a little bit challenged, or you might need to shore yourself up if you're going into a situation that might be draining, right? That's how I love to use it too. So first, let's explore the opposite. So take a posture of the opposite of an erect spine. So that's just a rounding downward, rounding the back, rounding the spine, dropping the shoulders, dropping the head, kind of like, reminds me of like a Charlie Brown posture. And just notice how that collapse feels. Feel collapse. For me, it's, I can't even grab a breath. My belly's not moving. I just feel no sense of aliveness whatsoever. It's kind of like just, I'm giving up. It's a full faint almost. Now let's do the opposite. Let's shore up the spine. And start first by rooting down into your pelvis. Feel your sitting bones on your chair. I even like to pull up on my pelvic floor, especially if you're someone who can't really sense your root and ground. Pull up on your pelvic floor. Give a little bit of a pelvic squeeze. That certainly can locate the base of your spine. Lift your sternum, relax your shoulders back, and just lengthen up through the crown of your head. So it's not rigid. Again, it's flexible, but it's long, it's rooted, and it's upward. See how that feels. Notice how the flow may have changed in your body. What feels different? And now let's do a little bit of the yes breath, because that is a breath that really helps us locate our spine and kind of move the energy up and down that central channel. So let's do a few of those together. Separate your feet a little bit so your belly has some space to breathe. Relax your feet down into the floor. Feel the floor. Starting with an in breath, a little bit of an arch of the low back. Lift your chest, lift your chin slightly. And on the exhale, just a nice gentle rounding of the spine. Here you can pull up on your pelvic floor, squeeze your belly at the very bottom of that breath, and then release. Inhale, little arch in your low back, lifting chest and chin. Exhale, round. So as you round, completely empty the breath, a little bit of a squeeze. Relax, inhale, fill your belly, little arch in your low back, open chest, lift your chin. Exhale, round. Ride the breath to the end. Let's do two more. Inhale, little arch in your low back, lifting chest and chin. Exhale, round. It's flowing right with the breath, sensing your spine articulating. Last one, breathe in, little arch in the back, lift chest and chin. And a complete exhale, rounding. And now sitting straight, right? Embody your spine, rooting downward, lifting the chest, relaxing the shoulders, lifting to the crown of the head. So embodying that love with a spine. And let's ask a few questions here. So a little bit of self-inquiry. What needs to be loved? What needs to be loved? So embodying love with the spine. Is there a physical space that needs some love? Is there a persona lurking about that tends to come up when integrity is breached that might need some love? And how can I let love in? How can I let love in? An extension of that might be, what do I appreciate in myself and others? Which is a great question when perhaps posed with a challenging person or situation. What can I actually appreciate here about myself and the other? And finally, how can I put love into action? I love this question. How can I put love into action while maintaining my wholeness and integrity, right? The structure of my spine. How can I put love into action? And what I love here is the force of that love in action when I'm embodied in integrity is so different than a contracted wishy-washy. Well, I guess, I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't know. But embodying, it's like, yes, or no. So thanks for practicing this with me today. It's something I've been working on a lot lately. I find it profound because there's the physical structure and there is the love, the energy of the movement of it, both here in this practice of love with a spine. I would invite you to use it. Thanks for practicing today. And I look forward to seeing you again next time.